pull a remote sensor into that office since that's what you really care about. So here we'll say that that's the case here, and we do have, I put a 1 in
Just
there.
out of curiosity, in the field, who makes those decisions, or is one that already made? Like,
It's usually already been made. You know, if you're going into a retrofit where you're just trying to figure this out as you go along, you might come into that, but more often than not, what you're going to do is give a phone call over to the PM and say, like, look, here's what I'm seeing. Is this what we want to do? This is probably going to be a change order.
okay.
Multi-stage, so do we got 2 stages of cooling? Say yes. Heat pump, we'll say no for this one. 3rd stage of cooling, we'll say no for this one. So what this is listing off, we have the numbers that are actually on that dip switch block, on the black plastic piece, usually very difficult to read, and then we got the values that are printed in white on the circuit board itself, usually much easier to read. And this is telling you exactly which one to switch on, which one to leave off. If we were to say that this is a heat pump, that's when you'll see these down here start to come on. Reversing valve for heat, reversing valve. Let's see, what's the best way to start going through this? We'll leave deficiencies for last here. We've already gone over HVAC. Again, once you've got your cleaning document in, that's when you're starting to go through and do a lot of data collection. There is also testing, performance testing over here, where you're looking at either direct connecting to the system itself, or usually what's going to be easiest is just looking at the portal at this site, forcing that unit into cool, seeing the difference between what you see online on the portal versus your handheld. There's already logic put into here that's saying, a couple of degrees is okay. And then what you'll also see, so we'll put in just some numbers here. Say,
Oh, Bill's letter, yeah.
see, we got a cooling deficiency here. So let's make sure.
Just write down your email, I'll send you a link to the YouTube channel where I'm
So
gonna
this
post
is,
it.
So why are we getting a cooling deficiency here? Because we're not seeing the 12 degree split. What you should do when you see that deficiency, you're looking at the thermostat, is it outputting the right voltage? Fan Y1, Y2. Is that correct voltage making it up to the unit? Testing at that terminal strip at that unit. You've now proven without a doubt the controls are working, the wiring's good. You're not there to put hoses on that unit or fix contactors or replace control boards. That's for the client to do, but you need to tell them, I went through all my testing, these are the results, here's what you need to do to fix it. Well, you don't have to go through the troubleshooting to say you got a bad contactor or what have you.
Yeah, we're gonna write it up that you verify control voltage at the unit. Okay, we're proving, we're sending the voltage, it should be working. I'm not an HVAC mechanic. You're gonna have to get somebody out here to fix it. We're sending the correct voltage.
So that's what you're telling them. That's going to both the TOC, the PM, and the client. So they know, like, look, the unit's work, I mean, the DZC's working. We don't have to replace any equipment. He didn't have to replace any equipment. We need to tell the client they need to send an HVAC tech out there.
What's the nomenclature for picture submissions? How do you want the pictures made? Like when we put in Dropbox?
So, here, yeah, we can skip ahead to.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
No, that's fine, because pictures are extremely important. What you're gonna go through, I mean, you're checking off whether or not you've taken a picture or whether or not it's applicable. So, we're looking at a PVP here. We're working on a big lots, they don't have a pool, they don't have a PVP, so now it's NA. If you want to go through and say this is RTU1, as far as the naming convention of that picture, that's great, but that picture should show RTU1, yeah.
Typically, the way it's done is you'll take a picture of the label on the RTU, because they're labeled up there, right? So you go, all right, RTU1, and then you take all the pictures. Then you got RTU, the next RTU, take a picture of the label, and it's got the model number and serial number on it, and it also says it's number 2.
Okay,
right?
now I'm just working with some companies where like, it's gotta be like this, with this exactly, it's an automated submission process, so if you don't name it right, it doesn't go into the right.
No, you actually, so if you take all those photos up front, then you could verify the model numbers and serial numbers are correct. Because you can pull them off of the actual blueprints. But especially now, they may call out for Lennox units and they may be carriers up there because there's too long a wait. So you just got to be sure that you verify what you really got. Because it's really important if we're having any kind of control issues later to be able to call out that unit and look up specific things. Just happened lately with dehumidification at one of our clients, and we had to go through and figure out what was missing and why they weren't working correctly. So, so when you're going to drop your pictures in Dropbox like we were talking about yesterday, when you drop the pictures into Dropbox, the TOC is going to open the Dropbox. That's why they have it filled, and they're going to go through. Yep, you got your LCP there. Yep, I got the picture of that LCP. They're going to verify that those pictures are there, and then they're going to raise hell with the PMs if there's pictures missing.
So save me a phone call and just upload.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's what you don't want to see.
Right.
No.
But they are step by step which pictures you're supposed to have, you know. So if you're looking, we want all the panel schedules. We want all of those things. We need pictures because when it comes to troubleshooting later, being able to go to that file and pull those pictures up, man, it's good stuff. And that's why we give you a Dropbox, because we don't want blurry pictures that we can't see anyways. All right?
Take your time on the pictures. Take it. Look at it on your phone. Can you see what you were intending to show somebody else? Do it methodically so you don't have to go up and down from that roof.
I just have a quick question. I saw it when it said picture and screenshot. Screenshot of what?
So
When you say a screenshot,
So screenshot is from the system itself. So you're not having to take a picture of your laptop screen. You just, Windows key,
Okay,
print,
okay.
or
So it's one or the other.
snag it. Yeah. I mean, you can have both in some instances. You can take a picture of, the lights being called for by the system. So yes, I am telling these lights to be on. You can take a picture of a contactor pulled in.
You guys want to come on? just do, you wanna come, and you wanna come back, and work on this unit? It's one person, we'll do 4 at a time, we'll get you in the next bunch. Is this any of you guys got a laptop with you? Yeah, we're just gonna show you how to direct connect and how to time into there.
We left them in the car, we're gonna go.
I got one right here. I got one right here.
Yeah.
No, I'm on mine for when I.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can do that, we'll have a break in a minute.
All right, sounds good.
We'll just get you guys started back here and get you up and the rest of the day.
So we had talked about it before on the front page where we had those breaker dupes. So you can see here EMS 1A, have a panel L1 circuit 12. If you come over here and put EMS 2, what you should see is it show up as red. So just a way for you to, have this thing sort of double check for you. Does anybody know what the difference between EMS 1 and EMS 2 is? EMS 1 is your coil voltage. That's what's going into your lighting control panel. That's what's giving you the ability to turn lights on and off. EMS 2, separate dedicated service. That's what's powering this. So, if we're working with a store manager and we're saying, like, can you go reboot this for us? And they say, like, I don't like wires, I don't know. This is all really confusing for us. Let's have them say, can you go flip a breaker for me? Point them at EMS 2, they flip it off, they flip it back on. That reboots this. If they say, hey, I came in here, my lights are all off, and you say, well, breaker panel L1, circuit 12, flip that off, all their contactors close.
So they run a dedicated circuit
Yeah, so that's the only thing that's gonna be on those, EMS 1, EMS 2 of those things. nothing
Yeah,
else.
nothing else.
Yeah, on 2 separate circuits, yes.
Two separate dedicated circuits for both. So rather than really going through and filling each one of these out, but circuit 20. You can imagine, a full panel schedule, and you're doing that for every single lighting circuit that we control. What panel is it in? What circuit is it? If you did happen to have, multiple, it would probably be panel, I don't know, L2. And this might be EMS 1. You can usually run through that pretty quick, especially if you got, somebody with you, somebody with an amp clamp. Run through each wire, call out which circuit it is. This might be. Actually, I haven't even looked at one in a long time. Let's look at a filled out one so we can see really what we're trying to get to. See that okay?
Step back, there you go, that's pretty good. Slide it over to the right a little.
So you can see how these match up. Got employee output 1. You're able to tell exactly which circuits are being controlled by what voltage they are, what else they're in, how much amperage they're pulling.
And typically you do that right in the LCD, right?
Just
You're
right
gonna go
there.
through there, clamp, 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 clamp.
Estou entregando.
And hopefully, you know, they color coded our wires.
Texting.
It's not always a thing, but we can hope for it.
It's been a while. Physical cans. What are we counting there?
LCPs.
LCPs.
Which, so, whoever filled this out, and I don't know who filled this out, this only has one LCP. Oh, it's Fort Worth. You got it from Ryan. It's coded those from Tri-Watt. So, it's, the SLP doesn't count. It's physical cans that we're using for lighting controls. That's what it is, okay? At Big Lots is always, I mean, it's an SC 1099 panel, all right? And it's always 7 relays and 9 contactors, always.
Almost always going to be one physical I/O. I mean, that's just the main I/O that's in the SLP. 24 circuits controlled. I mean, you just count through everything that we're controlling there. Smart breakers, I highly doubt you're going to run into any of those. Just make sure that that's checked off as no. I mean, I don't know, has anybody ever seen a smart breaker panel? Usually from Square D. I mean, they're big panels with controllers on them that doesn't
Okay,
really
yes,
look.
yes,
yeah.
I've worked with smart breaker, yeah, breakers that have dials for adjusting, and it's like micro turning dials for adjusting the,
Yeah, if you were to walk into any
yeah,
place where
it's
we're
got
going
an
to be.
LCD display.
Yeah, got a
Yeah.
little LCD
Yeah.
display.
That
It basically takes over the role of our LCP, where there's no contactors. We're sending a signal to the controller for those smart breakers, and then that controller is grouping each of those breakers into employee sales agents.
I've never seen it for lighting controls, but for other controls.
Signage location, exterior. So interior signage location is going to be at a mall. That's really the situation that we're looking at there. Interior signage location at a mall, you're not going to have an OSD because you'd have to drill through who knows how much to get out to the roof, which is just not going to happen. So that lets people know how to configure this. There's no OSD. I put this on a timer, or I put it on a schedule.
Excuse me, so, what is that?
Oh yeah, sorry. So outside device.
Okay.
So that's outside light sensor, outside air sensor. It's all in one. Picture of that would probably be good right about now. You can see everything listed out: manufacturer, model number, serial number, year, tonnage, duct temp sensor. Installed. This is the unit, RTU number 3, sales center. If there is a center unit, that's usually where you'll see the CO2, and they might put it front left, front right, mark off where it's actually located. Looks like every single one of these units needed a isolation relay board.
Big Lots uses them regardless. They
Oh,
pay
really?
for them, and for every unit, they want an isolation relay board installed. They don't want to take any chances, they don't want to have any problems down the road. They'd rather just install it from the get-go and call it good.
Just to recap, isolation relay boards, that board that sits on the HVAC wires, prevents the amperage from the unit making it down to the thermostat.
So you leave that up there or at?
Yeah, usually the best place is just put it up there in the control section. It's out of the weather, easy to get to.
Yeah, you get a little piece of 3-inch Snaptrack, easily use a couple of pan head self-tappers,
Mhm.
put it to the back of the plate, you know, nice little short ones, like little half-inch pan head self-tappers. Mount your snap track, then that snaps into the snap track, and you can pull the feed connectors off and wire them up, plug it back in, and then that gives you that protection on that thermostat wire.
That goes down to the DTZ, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's, one side it says 2 RTU, the other side says 2 DTC. So you're gonna take that wire when you get up there, cut it right in the middle, strip it back, and put that right in line. All right?
Tell this unit has 2 stages of heat, 2 stages of cooling, electric heat. Looks like we had issues all the way across the board with heating. Most of these units for cooling. So what we should see is deficiencies going over that fact. Let's see. Into stock ART. Is that a split? What is that?
What's that?
Are we gonna have access to examples of filled out forms as a reference?
You have access to anything you need.
Yeah, some of these filled
Wait,
out forms.
it's a phone call away.
Okay. Just as a reference of what others have done before, so that.
Yeah, if we had a whole nother day, we'd bring up a site and have you fill out a commission.
Yeah.
But when you're gonna find out, when you get on site and you start filling out, you're gonna go, wait, no, wait, yeah, better call.
I feel
We
that.
could Zoom call
I
it,
feel that.
we could all do it like a Zoom webinar thing. I'd do it.
Yeah, that's,
Wouldn't mind doing that.
well, we don't
But
do
like we
Zoom,
can,
but
you know.
we do Teams, Microsoft Teams, so.
Maybe we set that up.
So here we can see the confirmation, you know, every one of these showed yellow for heating. None of them met their delta. It's got a deficiency that he tested on W1, W2, and fan. So thermostat sending up the right voltage, confirm that voltage at the unit. Unit's still not heating. I mean, I don't know the situation at this site, but I would assume when you see none of these units heating, gas is probably on. Be my guess. HVAC power, just looking in the MDP, writing down the circuits. Pretty easy right there.
But our own assumptions of what we think is wrong does not matter and is not communicated. All we communicate is we have confirmed our signal.
Right. I mean, we do want to be good partners for the clients and tell them, like, hey, you have an issue here, and we've confirmed that our controls are good. We've controlled it.
But offering potential diagnosis could be a danger of running them down the wrong path.
Yeah. And they send out a technician, and that technician goes there and says, nope, it's not that contactor that he said, and leaves. Something
Right.
along those lines happening. You might use real soft language. It might be a contactor.
There you go.
So we've already gone HVAC power, lighting. You can see here is them doing a comparison between EMS and their handheld meter. So this can be a bit tough because you're looking at, you know, a handheld meter, and the load on that meter is going to be changing quite a bit, and you're trying to refresh on your screen to get what the EMS is getting. And you're working around high voltage, so take your time. Don't get frustrated if you're not getting exactly, you know, a decimal point away from it. But this thing should pop up and show you you'll very likely not have to deal with virtual meeting. But if these numbers are off, way too off, it'll pop up with yellow or red and show you if there's an issue over there. Anything on meter testing?
What was it? They had that kind of amperage up there, huh? Oh, electric heaters, that's right. No, I mean, we like to see the power factors in there at 9. It's a real good indication that you got them misphased if you're not getting at least 0.9 on your power factors. If it drops below 0.9 on your power factors, then it's probably not phased correctly. Because it does calculate your power factors.
I mean, I know what I think the I is supposed to be. I know the V is volt. What is the I?
Yeah, voltage.
Amperage.
current.
It is amps.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just some really high amps.
Yeah, well, so that's because it has electric heat.
Electric heat.
But it says there's no phase imbalance though, so would it still be the phase
So,
thing?
so the power factors
Still
in the
really
back
high.
are all calculated from the voltage
Still really high.
and the amperage.
Is this hypothetical? This is an actual reading, or is this a?
Those are actual readings.
What unit? That's still really high. Is this in the gear? Is it, or because it's not?
These are the mains, it's feeding the whole building. So
Oh, these
typ-
are the mains in the 800 amp panel. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, but that's
Sorry.
what it is. If it wasn't electric heat, you'd be seeing, typicals anywhere from 50 to 80, depending on the total building size.
That would make a
And and now with LED lighting, it's much less. It used to be with the old fixtures that it was much higher on that also.
Yeah, and you can put everything on one circuit now and just split it up into switch legs.
Right.
And the LEDs may change
Right.
the whole platform.
Yep.
Let's see, we'll start with outside air, outside light, or the OSD as we call it. So what's being recorded there? Outside air, that's temperature in Fahrenheit, getting that from the EMS. This is foot candles. So foot candles, bit difficult to say what's good, what's not good. You should see high thousands on a bright sunny day. Really what we're looking for on the outside light sensor and the foot candle readings is, what do we call it, the shoulders of the day, early morning, dusk. And that's when we're actually doing our controls. It starts getting dark, we turn the lights on. So what you shouldn't see is 10, 20, 30, 100 during the middle of the day.
Yeah, so, when we hit 50 foot candles, that's when we want to start turning on the exterior stuff. So, then there's certain ones, as long as it's dark out, like you see the exterior lighting circuits on some of these, it's because they're in areas that need a little more security, and they're putting on wall packs and maybe, a couple, 2 or 3 of their parking lot lights or what have you like that.
OSD location being listed as R28, that means this OSD is physically piped off of that unit. So they pulled that wire up through R28 out of pipe. What we should see if we had access to the pictures here is a picture of R28 with this OSD sitting on the top of it. Over here on the right, you can see all of these.
Wouldn't that imply the RTU8 is then outside?
Yeah, it's going to be on the roof.
Okay.
This is one where it showed that you'd have a close, so you'd have a waterproof LB, you're gonna come up, have a
3R.
bracket on a stick of conduit that's sticking up at least 3 feet.
Yeah. Is it a NEMA 3R enclosure, or is it an enclosure you supply that's NEMA 3R?
It's, so what it is,
A 4X.
so what it's going to be is, it's a NEMA 3 enclosure, it's an exterior single drain box with a light sensor screwed in the back of it that points to the north, right?
To the north.
Uh-huh, so, and you do color for color, but what you're gonna do is you got 2 ends to the RTU. One end's got your condensation fans, right?
Mhm.
And your evaporation fans up in the unit. We wanna be on the opposite end. I don't want that hot air blowing on that. That's why if you look on here, there's also a verification backup for weather underground. You're gonna hit weather underground and verify that those readings are pretty close to what we're reading. See right there?
Okay, but that's not an outside temperature humidity,
That is outside.
that's outside temperature, so okay.
Yep.
Dolphin connectors for this outside device. We're looking for corrosion resistance with those. I mean, this is one of the few sensors that we have that's sitting outside, that's in the elements. So we need to make sure that, you know, it's got a good seal on the gasket. That's why we're looking for a backplate tight gasket installed. Dolphin connectors, just give this thing every chance it has to survive. Yeah. And then of course facing north. Let's see. We're gonna tell you about what we're showing here. So EMS 1 sense, and this should match, panel and circuit should match what we had over here on lighting. It doesn't. We got PLL 37 over here and PLL 27. I assume 37. Sure. All right, we'll take a break. I'll pick up this and. Let me try and find a picture of one.
I know you can have an app on
My developer services.
Oh, man. I gotta get you that car, I wanna get my booter, and
There we go.
get some marks there.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna let it record. Plenty of space on there, double check.
Sam? Good, how are you?
Which one is it? Sure, we'll see both.
Yeah, it's yep, I do. No, you're all good.
Yeah. Somebody leave this out there?
Maybe Ryan's.
I don't remember his name, but he's sitting right there by the coffee cup.
Steve,
Ma'am.
this is the new doors that we put these CRTs in, right?
That's it.
Okay, yeah, so Sam, it's SC 1926. Yep. All right, you're welcome. Bye.
That's funny, I should have just called Tim the first time. So, right, Sean Renee called me
Oh.
and says the boards
Yeah.
are in the fan section.
Yep. And
Yes, sir.
they're corroded.
Right, and they're all corroded and they're not working anymore.
Yep.
And I said,
Full circle. Yeah, so Sam was like, hey,
and I
need
said,
some new
I think Tracy's out, her phone's going straight to voicemail, and I said, told Sean, I said, call Sam.
Well, I probably-
Sam called you,
Yeah.
one time we went all the way around the block. I could have said, let me call somebody and I'll send you some new floors. 2 new boards, 2 new boxes.
These are on program, right?
But mine is-
That's okay.
Oh, this is a lot to take in, but
Well, and that's why we put it all on the stick for you.
It's a lot.
You know, if I was trying to sell you a set of encyclopedias, I wouldn't try to go through each and everything in there. I'd say, here's how you find stuff in here, right? This is what we're talking
I would
about.
do it in an incredibly monotone and unengaging voice.
no, you guys listen. You guys are good. 'Cause I'd be asleep in 15 minutes. So I've been staying awake, so it's you're doing fine.
Yeah, so this is a compressor fit.
Mhm.
So if you do a watertight LB on the side of the unit, and then just put a bracket up here so it doesn't move, you know, near the top of the unit, and then 3 feet above, you're gonna mount this. If you go inside of here, okay, they haven't added them in yet. We send out the Belton connectors that have the intercrusted in, okay? And then this is just a watertight seal. Make sure you got it on there good, get it closed up, and that's the right sensor right there. Lock that for the noise. Yes, sir. So that way, we know that we've done everything we can to get this sucker to last a little while.
Yeah, especially in Florida, because that salt water eats up everything.
Yes, sir. First time I saw that down there in Florida, I was like, what's wrong with these units?
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, that's 8 year old. I was like, it's only half there anymore. You know what this is, Miss Vaughn?
Really?
This is a DCC.
Acronyms are gonna kill me, but I'm gonna know all of them before it's all done.
Yep, you'll start dreaming about them.
This guy spent a whole bunch of time in Sherman going on, and I was like, I said, well, he told me, he said, I'm kind of old. I graduated high school in 1978. I said, not that old. I graduated in
I've been
77.
a network engineer for about 40 years.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I know all the acronyms, but let's say 20 years ago, you had a set of acronyms. Now those same acronyms are used for something.
Something else, yep.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. When I first went in the military, it was so difficult because it's just, I know what you feel like right now. We're throwing all these acronyms at you, and you're just like, what does that mean?
I'll get it.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. You just need the exposure.
Yeah.
And DCCs is something that a lot of people have trouble saying that. DCCs. I've heard so many renditions of that, I can't even tell you.
Digital zone control.
Digital zone controller, that's right. Anti-thermostat.
I'm getting there.
Yes, sir, I'm sure you will. And we're having a great lunch today. Oh, it's barbecue, it's good barbecue too.
Water.
That's one. We got 7 more to drink.
7 more, I'll be floating.
Yep. Gotta flush out that poison you just drank earlier.
Poison, keeping me going.
Uh-huh.
An energy.
Oh, God. I can't even drink Mountain Dew. That's something.
She's-
She's shaking.
She's afraid that I'm gonna drop dead and then she's really gonna be in
Yep,
trouble.
I gotta keep him alive.
There you go.
That's it. Les and I've been working together for 13 years.
Yep.
Been a while.
I was very curious as to what you were drinking in that little cup. I kept looking at
Oh,
it, trying
my-
to figure out, what is that?
Yeah, it's coffee and like turmeric and cinnamon,
Oh, okay.
which is supposed to help, with all things.
I do. When I got sick with COVID, and I was paralyzed for like 4 months. I had
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got Gillian Barre syndrome from getting COVID. And I was doing a lot of turmeric, garlic. I did a lot of natural stuff. And, it took me 2 months to get rehabilitated, but I was fine. I was lucky I had the water came here. I thought I was on my way out. Yep.
That's crazy.
I was
There's
back
been
in early 2020.
There's some weird, like
Stuff going on.
offshoots of stuff like that. A friend of mine got COVID and it turned his eyebrows and eyelashes white. Like it took all the pigment out. It still doesn't have it.
Wow.
Isn't that, yeah, weird. Weird.
Wow. We got people with this long COVID thing.
I know. Yep. I have 2 little kids and they have both had COVID. On their fun, it kind of just brushes over them and
Yeah.
they don't really get much out of it.
I can't do a vaccine because I could wind up paralyzed. Because you can get Gillian Barre syndrome, COVID, flu vaccine. So it's scary. I'm just cautious.
Right. I mean, honestly, it's what we should have been doing the whole time, right? Just wash your hands all the
Yeah.
time.
Common sense.
Kinda, yeah.
Ain't no common sense.
That's what escapes everybody these days, is common sense.
Yeah, like I was saying, I've been in IT for about 40 years now. Electrical kind of, it's a learning curve for me. I'll get the hang of it.
So do you, are you are you the controls person in your crew? Or are you,
We haven't made up a crew yet.
okay, so
He
you're
just
kind
invited me
of,
here, 'cause I've done work with Rich on a lot of different IT stuff, but he invited me here. But like I said, it's a learning curve for me, but I'll get there.
yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, I mean, you put you with an electrician, I mean, that's typically what our crews do. He'll have a master electrician and then, a controls person.
That's probably what he was thinking.
Yeah, and that way you can tackle 2 things at once.
Yeah, because when he was talking about the digi device and, getting connected to TCP/IP and all that.
Right.
Piece of cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're talking about powering up a meter from a bus bar, you're like, maybe not that.
What from? Wait.
Yeah,
You got it.
you can do it from a breaker or from, direct onto the bus bar.
Yeah.
That's why I don't commission anymore. I am not an electrician either.
What was? Well, they were working on the board over there, but it looks like they're working on it.
Oh, you have keys?
I have keys right here. This is a separate meter from the utility meter you're talking about.
Right, So it's downstream of the utility meter.
Downstream of it,
Mhm.
yes.
Yep.
Line side cap of a half a megawatt solar system. And I've been connecting to 5 parallel runs of 400 MCM. Yeah.
Yep, see, I wouldn't.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were short on commissioners for a while, so as a project manager, I hadn't gotten to be able to do township commissioning.
Mhm.
So I had to do all the readings and do all the stuff, and I'm in a contractor panel, and I touch one of the 24-volt wires to the 120, and it blew the
Oh,
panel out, and
yeah.
and all the lights in the, it was just an LA Fitness Health Club.
But it scared the
Went
crap
out.
out of you.
Oh yeah, I had to change my pants after that. But after that, I called my boss and I was like, you know what? I'm not qualified to do this. I'm coming home and I'm not going anymore.
Oh man, so people are like, what's it like to get shot? I said, well, do you have any tattoos?
Yeah.
All right, imagine you're getting a tattoo, but something feels fundamentally wrong with the universe.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels
That's
like.
what it feels like.
To get hit.
Yep.
With 120.
Yeah.
It gets worse with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm Shad, the electrician that is trying to play controls.
Leslie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. And we'll pass out, once you guys are, out doing installs or commissions for us, then we'll circulate the PM information, so you'll have contact information for me.
That's
and
gonna be fantastic.
PM.
No, I'll riddle you the rest. Get sick of my name for about a month, and then you'll stop.
That's fine. I'm sick of all the installers' names, so, and they're sick of mine too. Like I said, they hit silence when they see me calling.
Oh, no. I'll never do that. Actually, one of my big pet peeves is fallout in communication.
I mean,
That's a major pet peeve of mine.
it's the mainstay of this business. I mean,
You have to talk
you have
to
a
each
problem on
other.
site, you call me and I'm gonna fix it.
And
You don't call me, you're gonna
You might
sit
not
there.
like what you hear,
Right.
but it's information that has to get conveyed.
Yeah.
And silence is only gonna elongate and exacerbate whatever's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, so, you'll never get silence from me.
That folder's gonna have a bootstrap ID, which is a big long list of numbers. So you can take a picture of that and put that in the ticket, or type it all out, put that in the ticket, and have them verify that it is in fact.
So when I'm filling out the sheet at like 3, 4 in the morning, I'm able to call you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can call me anytime. I may not answer, but you can call anytime.
I'll just leave like 10 voicemails.
Yeah, right. I'll finally just get up and say, what the hell do you need?
That's right.
is gone.
Mr. Hamilton?
That's not the receipt that we're talking about. When you
Oh,
put it
yeah,
in,
that,
you
for
know?
the light.
Yeah, the air and light sensor, and it's red and black, white and green. So, then you just got the foam rubber seal on there, you know? But I do want it 3 feet above the unit so I don't get any reflective heat. So whether you use a box like in this, or if you just use, you know, a watertight LV coming off the bottom, come up, put a bracket up near the top somewhere so it holds it nice and steady, and 3 foot above the unit works perfect for me.
Okay.
So the condensing fans are on the opposite end, so, and a lot of hot air comes out of there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we want to just make sure that we put it on the opposite end and facing north. And those are all check marks that you put on that commissioner document. The first time you fill out that document, you're gonna be like, Second time you'll be like, I remember this and I remember that. By the time you do it 10 times, you'll own it. You will own it. And Miss Leslie right here, she's in charge of all the LA Fitnesses. And as soon as you do it, if you can commission an LA Fitness, you can commission anything.
Yeah, I know, it sounds like it's
You
got
can
the
build a
most
rocket
stuff
ship after
going on.
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can tell them it is rocket science.
Yeah.